so good. Oh, it's so good. I love these formulas. They're nice and hydrating. Hi you guys, welcome back to the Clean Beauty Code. I am so excited for this video because we're talking favorites. We are talking my favorites from 2023 and I'm so excited. We have so many good favorites and this is going to be a long video. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to break it up into two. We'll see how the editing goes, but I'm so excited to get in this video. I would love to know down below, what did you love in 2023? Were you obsessed with a certain makeup product, skincare product? Were you shows, movies, a certain food? Let me know down below because I'd love to know what you guys are loving. And yeah, I just want to jump into this video and get started because it's going to be so long and I'm so nasally right now. I apologize. I'm a little bit sick. Super over it. It's getting nasally the more I talk. So I just want to jump into this video and get started. So if you're excited for this video and more videos like this, then please like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into my 2023 favorites. Okay, best of 2023, let's get into it. I'm going to start with my best of makeup in 2023, and then we're going to move on to other categories. Let's jump right in. First, we're going to start with primer. So this primer here from Nude 6 has just been so good. This is their Blot and Blur. It helps mattify my T-zone and keep oil at bay throughout the day so I'm not looking a mess because I do have combo skin and my T-zone is, hey, me. Oily. So this is so good. I love this and this is amazing for nights out and events. I am obsessed with this. Just so, and in summer because it's a sweaty time. Next we have this one which I've talked about for years now. This is the Cover FX Gripping Primer. I know everyone really likes the Milk one, or at least that is the one that you kind of see on social media. But for me, the Cover FX Gripping Primer is way better in my opinion. I find that the Milk one pills a little bit, whereas this one I don't find that. This is really good. I love this, and this one I'll use all over the face, but if I'm going to go, let's say I want to use both primers, I will do just this in the T-zone and this all over the rest of the face because this does a good job at kind of keeping my makeup where I want it. So the next we kind of have a lip primer prep product. This is from the brand Fresh. This is their lip smoothing primer drops, or what is it? Smoothing lip primer. I'm obsessed with this. This helps with dryness so much. It's almost like a BHA kind of exfoliator product. It is so good. I have honestly gone through so many of these. I have backups of this product because I cannot run out because I have really, really dry lips, and this is the only thing that avoids the super cracky nasty lips that like nobody wants. Okay, next we're gonna move on to brows really quick. So I actually have 3 brow gel type products, and I know that seems like a lot, but I want to talk through why I have this many as like my top products. Oh my, can you hear my dog? She's so much closer to me today, so you're gonna hear a lot of like dog noises. She's right behind me. She's so cute, but she's sleeping. Anyways, I digress. Brow gels. So the Rose Ink Brow Gel, no one's shocked by this. It's more of a pomade-y texture. I really like this. It doesn't have the shine that some brow gels have, which I like. It gives it kind of more of a natural look to the brows, and the really gelled up brow look, which I know so many people love, it just does not work on me. I end up looking crazy. So this is so good. The hold is amazing. I don't know, I'm a big fan. So then next, a newer product that launched closer to the end of the year, but is so good, and the hold on this brow gel is crazy. This is the LYS Beauty Brow Gel. Now this is, if you want something that's a little bit more of a jelly look, which I know a lot of people love, this is it. This also will, your brows will be held up in a hurricane. They're so good. It does have a touch of a sheen to it, but not where it's looking like your brows are wet or anything, but it is not necessarily quite the pomade-y look. I will say you also need to clean off the wand. Actually, maybe you don't, but I do because I feel like it has a lot of product on it. So I just take off the excess product like this. It's really good. The hold is amazing. You can't go wrong. So the next if I want a soap brow product, which I love, soap brows is kind of my favorite, especially last year. 2022 was my soap brow time, but I've been loving the Tude one. This is so good, and this is one that it does not disappoint. The hold is there. It's kind of the perfect combo for me of these two products, which is why this one's here as well. It gives me the hold, the look of kind of the more pomade-y look of the Rose Ink one, but has the hold of the LYS Beauty one, which has a longer hold than the Rose Ink one, I will say, but the Rose Ink one still has a really long hold. But I'm dropping things left and right, but this is really good. Okay, so we're gonna move on to brow pencils. I have two. The first one is no shock to anyone, the Westman Atelier brow pencil. I love this. If you like something that's a little bit more pinpointed, which you can pinpoint with this one, but if you want something that's a little bit thinner, this might not be for you, but I love this. The hold, it just holds all day. It looks really good. The tones are beautiful. I wear the shade Bark. I'm just obsessed with this. It's just so good. I'm obsessed with this. Definitely check this out, especially if you have more cool toned hair. The shade Bark, if you have like my tone of hair, which is like so dark, but also like not black, but also not warm, this is amazing. Next, we have a more pinpointed one. This is from Ami Collet. This is just so good. So this is their brow pencil, and it's a more pinpointed one. So if you like a more just like really draw in hairs, this is a great one. I love the way this wears throughout the day. I love how long it lasts. I wear the shade Dark Brown. It is just so good. Highly recommend. We're moving on to like true foundations. So I have two foundations. Both are a little bit different. So one is this one. This is the House Labs foundation. I'm obsessed with this. It's so good. Always shake this. Actually, always shake any like complexion product you put on, because sometimes not shaking it can really be the difference of it performing well or not, but definitely shake this. I really enjoy this. So I found when I first got this and I was testing it out a ton, I didn't love it with a brush and I didn't love it with a sponge. I loved it with my fingers. Still love it with my fingers, but the way that I like to wear it now is I like to take a brush like this, a fluffy brush of some type, put it on the back of my hand, get it all in the brush and then apply it. I really like how it applies that way too. It gives a very natural look, but I've been loving that technique. It's just so good. So I really love this. It has a nice finish to it, but it's not overly dewy. But I will say for some people it might be too dewy, so you might need a little bit more powder. But it is great. It looks beautiful, flawless, and it gives you such a gorgeous complexion. Next we're going with something that has more of a natural finish, and this one is the love of my life. The Exa Beauty Foundation. I wear the shade 270 Rebecca. She's just so good. A nice natural finish, a really beautiful, more serum-y kind style foundation, but not one that feels too slippy. I don't know. I love this, and the way it wears is gorgeous. You cannot go wrong with this. Now we're moving on to skin tints. I love skin tints. They're my most grabbed, most used products, and you really can't. So many good skin tints came out this year. You really can't go wrong with a lot of the ones that came out this year. But I have two favorite skin tints that no matter what, my skin always is happy with them. One is the Tower 28 tinted sunscreen. I love this. I have two shades. I have the shade, what is it, 45 Silver Lake? Yeah, Silver Lake, and the shade 40 Runyon. I like to mix and match, sometimes mix them together, wear them individually depending on where my complexion is at. Silver Lake is more neutral. Runyon is a little bit more yellow in undertone, but I love this. It looks beautiful all day. You can really build up the coverage if you need a little bit more. You can go more light in coverage, up to medium in coverage, in my opinion at least. It is just so good. And then I feel like no one is going to be shocked by this one, but the complexion drops from Westman Atelier are so good. I'm obsessed. So good. I wear the shade X, and I know that's a number. I know it's a Roman numeral, but I cannot remember the Roman numerals. So X, which I believe is the shade 10 maybe, but I could be wrong. But this is so good. I love how my skin looks wearing this. It just looks dewy but healthy, and it's like a skincare product, so it sinks into the skin gorgeously. It's like a skincare mixed with a makeup product. I don't know. Westman Atelier products are just so good. I'm obsessed. And speaking of Westman Atelier, we're moving on to an illuminator. Now, an illuminator, you can wear under your foundation, you can wear alone, you can wear on top of your makeup. There's so many ways that you can use them, and there's so many ones that people love. So people love the Say Beauty one. I know people love the Drunk Elephant, like bronzing drops. I find them to be a little bit patchy, but people do really enjoy those. But these ones here are the loves of my life. The Westman Atelier ones, I know these are newer, but I literally am obsessed with these. I have two shades. I have the shades Peau de Peche and Peau de Soleil. Let me make sure I'm saying those right. Yes. Peau de Peche and Peau de Soleil. They're so gorgeous. They look so beautiful on the skin. I wear them alone all the time. I wear them on the high points of my cheek if I just want a little bit of something. I wear them underneath foundation. I mix them with foundation. I'll even mix them with like a face cream or a serum, whatever I'm wearing that day on my face, and they're so good. I will say, like, out of all of the products, this feels like it's going to be dramatic, but out of all of the products, these are my hero products of the year so far. As I'm looking at everything in front of me, and I'm like, wait, am I right? I really feel like these are my hero products of the year. They're just so, so good. I'm obsessed. So we're moving on to concealers, and I have a couple of options depending on your needs, what you like, and all of that. So first things first, we're going to go with what I like to do to conceal around my face, and that is this. It's so good. The Merit Beauty Foundation Concealer Stick. I mean, this was in my favorites last year. It is just so good. I actually just got a new one, and I'm so happy. I wear the shade Buff in this, and this is so good. You can also wear it under your eyes. You can wear it all over your face. It's great for that as well. It really doesn't crease under the eyes, which is amazing. So, so good. I love this for specifically my hyperpigmentation and my acne because it doesn't cling to dryness, but it isn't super liquidy. So the hold is just incredible. So I apply it, let it sit for a little bit, maybe do my brows, something. Then I will blend it out with my finger, and I'm just so happy with how this conceals stuff, but it looks so natural. I'm obsessed with this. This is so good. And from the original packaging that they had, the first launch of this, or the other color, it used to be blue, had a lot less product than this. So you get a lot more bang for your buck now, and they didn't change the price, which is nice. This is really good. Okay, so the next, for under eyes. Now for under eyes, I have a couple of products depending on what your needs are, and I swear I'm not crazy. These are all so good. So first, no one talk about this. Love of my life. The Cool Feet Concealer, I love this. Has a little bit of sheen to it, which I love the way that it looks under the eyes. Not shiny, where it looks like your under eyes are wet, but it has a nice sheen to it. It's really good. It wears beautifully. Can I calm down? Wears beautifully throughout the day, and I don't know, it's just so, so good. So then next we have two other concealers. They're newer launches from this year, but I'm literally obsessed with both of them. First of them is the Iris and Romeo. I actually have 3 shades of this. Look how dirty this is. If I don't clean my makeup, I have another shade of this as well. So good. I have the shades 7, 6, and 5. 5 is like super, super brightening, and just for like right here when I need extra brightness. These are so good. Does not crease. Guys, I'm not lying. Doesn't crease. Does not crease. If you have creasy under eyes, which I have so much creasing under my eyes, this doesn't crease. It doesn't move. This also doesn't move under your eyes. So if you're in the mood for a stick, this also doesn't like move at all. But this is so good. Now, I will say, I feel like they should have a couple better, like a little bit more of an expanded shade range. And I hope they do continue to expand it, because all brands need a million concealer shades because not everyone has the same undertone, but these are great. And the shade 7 is a really good shade for me. And if I want something a little bit brighter, I'll grab more of the shade 6 or mix and match. But these are so good. So good. I prefer these just under the eyes. I've used them on my face, and they look great, but I prefer the Merit. Again, because I prefer something that is a little bit thicker for covering hyperpigmentation. And by thicker, I mean just consistency-wise isn't as liquidy, and acne. Anyways, then next, Live Tinted. I'm obsessed with this concealer. I wear the shade 16. It is so good. And it has the same lack of creasing for me than the Iris and Romeo. I will say I find this a touch more hydrating, but so good. They're both, all of the concealers I wear under my eyes, oh my gosh, my dog's so loud. All the concealers I wear under my eyes are hydrating because I have dry under eyes. So all of these will keep you looking good under your eyes. But this is great, super hydrating. The longevity is there. You can't go wrong. Now that we talked about the Westman Atelier Illuminating Drops, I'm going to talk about my highlighter favorite, just so that I kind of hit the category at the same time. The Minori highlighter. There's just nothing better. There's just nothing better. Unless you're going with the Westman Atelier drops, there's nothing better. It is just so good. I like the shade Champagne. I love this for inner corner highlight, on the tops of my cheeks, highlighting my nose. It's just so, so good. You can't go wrong with this. I've talked about it 1,000 times, and the consistency of it is really nice and thin, which is also what makes this formula impeccable. Let's move on to powders. I have 2 powders. One, Amicole. It's just so good. I love a translucent powder, so generally if I grab a powder, it's translucent, and it's just so good. It has a nice dish that you can like put product in, which is nice, and it has a nice, I just love the packaging of this. I believe NARS has a powder, if I'm correct, that has the same type of packaging. It's just an elite package for powder. And then the Westman Atelier, which I know is so expensive, but you guys, it's so good. So this again is their like pressed powder, setting powder, and it's so good. It is so good for blotting. So, and I know that sounds crazy, but let's say, I'm gonna show you. Let's say I've already set my face. I always carry this in my purse. This is just like a go-to in my purse. Take a brush or like those little triangle powder puffs and just put it, and it just blots away any like oil. It is so good, but it doesn't, it's so finely milled that it doesn't look like you added anything. I don't know. I am obsessed with this. It's so good. And I know it's so expensive, but I feel like it is worth it. However, I know it's really expensive and there's a million other products out there that probably do something really similar, but this is really nice. Okay, now we're moving on to bronzer, and I have a few options depending on what you love and like occasion. So first things first, if I'm going just like a classic cream in a pot, Rose Ink. It's just so good. It's really thin and it is a very natural finish, but it almost sets up almost like a powder in like the best way. I wear the Sage Shatials, and although this looks like, okay, that's not a bronzer on you, trust me, when I swatch it for you, it's a bronzer for me. And it has like the perfect neutral undertone. Look at that. The perfect neutral undertone where I can still use it as a contour if I want, like just for my nose. I don't really contour my face, but if I contour my nose or do a little bronzer on my nose, it's the perfect shade, but the formula is incredible. It lasts all day. I love this, and I know people really like the Say Beauty one as a dupe for the Chanel one. I find that this one is a better dupe, and I find the tones to be less warm. So this is great. I do hope they expand the shade range because I do believe that they could add maybe like 3 or 4 more shades, but this is really, actually, you know what, endless amounts of shades because you never know what people want, but this is really, really good. So the next we're going to move on to a stick. I mean, you can't have a best of 2023 favorites video without this LYS Beauty bronzer stick. I love this. I have the shade Harmony, and it is just so good. This is literally butter. And not in a way that sounds negative. Take a stick of butter and put it on your face. A warmed up stick of butter. It's just so good. It blends like a dream. I'm obsessed with this. It's just so good. You honestly can't go wrong. And the way it blends is immediate, which is just so good. If you struggle with blending at times, this product is just so good. And they have so many shade options. So many shade options. LYS Beauty has so many shades. You cannot go wrong with this. This is a little bit more dewy than the Rose Ink one. The Rose Ink one is definitely more of a natural finish, whereas this one is more of a dewy-ish, but it doesn't set up, it doesn't look wet, but it does have more of a dewy finish to it than the Rose Ink one, but it's beautiful, and the shade range, you cannot beat it. So the next, oh, my lips are so dry. Hold on while I moisturize, jeez. All right, next, throw a little bit of lip balm on because it is dry in here today. Anyways, next we're moving on to powder bronzers. So I have 2 powder bronzers that are just so good. The first one is Victoria Beckham Beauty. This is the shade 04. I also have the shade 03. Gorgeous, gorgeous bronzer, so finely milled. The way it sits on the skin is just gorgeous. I love this type of formula. It is just so good. Then we have this one from House Labs. She's so good. She is so good, so finely milled, so pigmented, but not in a way where you go, oh, made a mistake immediately. So good. So I have the shade medium level 7. They have so many shade options. Definitely check these out. And then also if you want something that isn't necessarily as soft, I would say is the House Labs one, then grab the Elway's Beauty Powder Bronzer is also gorgeous. I have that in the shade Courage and the shade Harmony as well. So good. Now we're moving on to like true contour products, and I only have one. Because I only need one. The Westman Atelier, they're so good. So the Westman Atelier, I have a mini and then I have a full size. I have the shade Truffle and then I have the shade with the other shade Biscuit. So good. I actually just saw that in the minis, they came out with all the shades now, which is incredible. So there's 3 shades total of the contour, and they only used to have Biscuit, which is Whack Attack City, and now they have all the shades, which is amazing. So I have the shade Truffle, which is my more everyday. And she's gorgeous. I mean, it's so good. I'm obsessed. And the shade Biscuit, which is definitely light, but it has that really gray undertone. So sometimes I like to mix them together to get Truffle to be a little bit more gray in tone, depending on where my complexion is, because sometimes I need a little bit more gray in my contour. And if I really feel like I need a very specific shade, I'll go with the Rose Ink, because it's like the perfect mix of these two. So I love, but this contour formula is elite. It's just, there's so many great contours I've tried this year, but this one is so good. I'm obsessed. And their really deep shade, or their deepest shade, is just gorgeous. I do hope they expand it to have a couple more options across the board, but gorgeous. Now we are moving on to blush. So I have a few blush options depending on what you like and also what I like this year. First, the Say Beauty blushes. Make it to the list again. So freaking good. I actually own all the shades, but these are my most used this year. The shade, what is this? Spicy, I believe. Spicy, Rosy, and then Chili. Spicy and Chili were the new ones this year, but I just grab these all the time. They look beautiful on the skin. They last beautiful on the skin. They are just so good. I'm obsessed with these, and I'm always really happy with my makeup when I'm wearing these. You just can't go wrong. You really can't. Next, we have another one that was on the list last year, I believe, the Tower 28 Cream Blushes. This is the shade Magic Hour, right? Yeah, Magic Hour. I have a few shades, and I really like this formula. It just lasts so long. It makes your cheeks look really healthy. I don't know. I'm obsessed. This is probably my most used shade, even though I'm currently testing out a brighter pink one just to see how I like it with my makeup, but I am a really big fan of this formula. Okay, so next we're moving on to stick ones, and the first one is the Victoria Beckham Beauty, which I believe it was also on the list last year. The Victoria Beckham Beauty blush stick. Can I get it together? I love this. This is the shade Playground. I am obsessed with this formula. It is natural looking. It wears, first of all, so nicely. It lasts so long on the cheeks. It looks so nice. The shades are, in my opinion, really unique. I feel like the specific way that their shades are, you can't really find other places, even though the types of shades other places have, like other brands have them, but the way that they do the shade is just a little bit different than other shades. I don't know. I'm obsessed. Playground is so good. I actually just got a new shade maybe like a month ago or something, but I am obsessed. And I also really like the new shade that I have been trying out, but this is so good. And then next we have this from Amicole, their multi-stick. So good. Specifically the shade Dune, but I have a bunch of their shades and all their shades are absolutely gorgeous. But this shade specifically, I hope it focuses, is just so beautiful, and it would look so good on so many complexions. I'm just obsessed. You cannot go wrong with these. I love the way they wear. I love the way that they look on the cheeks, and you can wear them on your lips wherever you want. I prefer on my cheeks, but so good. And then next we're doing powder blush, and I almost did 2 powder blushes, but then I realized I really only grabbed one powder blush the most, like by far, so I had to go with this. These are the Gen Nude Blush Bronzer blushes from Bare Minerals, and they're so freaking good. So I have 3 shades total. Kiss of Rose, which is just the most beautiful shade, and this is a really good one for kind of the colder months in general, but still beautiful in summer and in spring. But I have one that I love more for kind of springy time, which is Kiss of Pink, and this is probably my most used. And oh, is it focusing? No. So there we go. It's so freaking good. I'm obsessed. And then my least like used, but just because it's more of a just a strictly a summer shade for me, is Kiss of Copper, which is so gorgeous. And the formula is so good. It's not too powdery, but just powdery enough where you get enough pigmentation on your brush that you don't feel like you have to constantly be dipping in to get pigment on your cheeks. I'm obsessed with this. If you're a big fan of the Hourglass blushes, which I'm a big fan of the formula, it's just such a gorgeous formula, then these are really worth trying out because they have that same sheen that they give you a really healthy looking cheek, but it's not glittery. I don't know, I'm obsessed with these. Okay, now we're gonna move on to eyes. So first we're gonna talk mascara. Now I feel like one of these definitely won't surprise you. Actually, I feel like all of these won't surprise you. I have 3 mascara favorites. And I know that feels like a lot, but I swear they're so good. First, no one's shocked. This is the Jones Road Beauty Mascara, and this will be, I'm like shocked at how much I love this and how obsessed I am with this, because this is one that if I run out, I'm screaming, crying, and throwing up. Like, truly. It's so good. So good. It gives me the perfect amount of volume and length and curl, and it holds a curl really well, and it doesn't run, which I have weepy eyes, which I hate that description, but weepy eyes, so when I wear mascara on my bottom lashes, sometimes I will have some running just because of, that's just how my eyes are. This does not. She doesn't do that. So good. I'm actually testing another mascara that doesn't do that right now, which I'm really impressed by, but this is still just like live, breathe, and die. So good. So the next, these 2. So one is the Ilia mascara, which always is a favorite. Like I'm obsessed with this formula. So this is the Ilia Limitless mascara. It's a plastic brush, and it is so good. They also have a volumizing mascara, which I don't love as much. It's a nice formula. I do feel like it runs on me a good amount. Not so much that it's alarming, but just one where I kind of I like to grab this more, and I also love the plastic bristles on this. It's just so good. And then this one from Tower 28, their mascara, so freaking good. This also is a plastic wand, and it is just such a nice mascara with the way that it wears throughout the day, and it doesn't crumble. I don't have running. It doesn't feel like, if you have sensitive eyes, this is definitely one to check out. I just feel like both of these formulas are great, and I love to have a plastic bristle wand in my mascara collection because it really helps separate the lashes. So if you're layering a bunch of mascaras together, always do the plastic bristle ones last, but these are so good. Okay, next we're moving on to eyeliners, and I have 2 eyeliners that I've been loving. The first one, these were also a favorite last year, I'm pretty sure. The Victoria Beckham Beauty eyeliners. I'm obsessed with these. My most used one out of these 2 is the brown one, but the black one is incredible. They're so good. They smudge out really well, which is what I love about these. They wear really nice on the inner rim and fall down nicely. Not so much that you look like a raccoon, but just enough to give like a sexy look to your makeup look. I don't know, I'm obsessed with these. They're so good. And I have yet to find an eyeliner that kind of beats this one out with how it smudges and how it kind of, like in the inner rim of your lashes, if you put it in there and the way that it kind of falls down. I have yet to find something that kind of beats this. But this is really good. I'm a huge fan. And then next we have this one. This is from Kulfi. This is their eyeliner, and it is so freaking good. It is so good. The wear is incredible. The way that it blends is incredible. The way that it lasts is just so good. And it is truly a formula that I feel like is so underrated. I have 2 shades. I have the shade black and the shade brown. love the shade brown. I love a brown eyeliner. It's just so good. They're just so good. I don't know. I'm obsessed with these. And they just smudge really, really nicely. You do have to work relatively quickly, though. I wouldn't let them sit too long. But they just smudge beautifully. I don't know. I'm a huge fan. Next part of the eyes. We're going eyeshadows. Now, one eyeshadow I can't find, which is the Jones Road Beauty like individual eyeshadows are incredible formula. I have one that is my obsession. It's like their true, like their darkest brown color. It is so good. It doesn't really have fallout. It blends like a dream. The Jones Road Beauty individual eyeshadows are so freaking good. Run, don't walk, honestly. Because sometimes I don't need an entire palette. I just want one or two shades, and the individuals are so good, and you get so much product. And I don't know, you can't go wrong. Then next we're gonna go with palettes. I don't think anyone is surprised by this. Okay, can I put these both the right way? The Rowan Beauty eyeshadow palettes. No one's shocked. I have two shades. I have the Gold Lust palette, which is my most used and worn and loved, and I'm obsessed. It's just so good. The creaminess, they wear so well. They don't like crease really easy, which is amazing. So I don't always wear a primer with these, and I'm always happy with how my makeup looks. And then I have this one, which is absolutely gorgeous. It's called Mood Forever, and this palette and the formula specifically of these three, they're just impeccable. They're so good. I love Rowan Beauty. Rowan Beauty just, it came out of the woodwork for me. Came in, rushed in, and completely took me by surprise. And I'm obsessed with Rowan Beauty now, and their eyeshadows are no exception to the rule. They're so freaking good. They also have an individual one that is like their disco eyes. That's gorgeous. I'm obsessed with them. So good. And then one that is a newer one, but I know, they're newer, okay? However, this Ritual de Fille, what is it called? Their eye jelly, their jelly eye gloss is so good, but specifically in the shade Apis. I have never in my life, I'm gonna link the video where I applied this down below, found an eye gloss quite like this before. It is so freaking good. And the thing about this is, if I don't prime my lid, which I don't always do, or like set it with powder, it can crease a little bit. But then if I tap out that crease, which is so easy to do, it doesn't crease again, which is absolutely bananas if you actually think about it. But my favorite way to wear this so that I don't have any creasing, because I mean, any type of eye gloss is gonna crease, let's be real, like just in your crease. My favorite way to wear this is do a little bit of primer and then set that with powder and then put the eye jelly on top, and then I'm good to go. But this is so good. But again, if you use something like this and it creases, specifically this formula though, if it creases, just tap out that crease and it won't crease again. It's actually kind of crazy. I'm obsessed with this. And I know it's newer, but nothing will outdo this for me. I feel like even this year, 2024. So good. Next, we're moving on to the lips. So first things first, we're gonna go lip liner. I have two favorite lip liners. One, no one's shocked by this, the Victoria Beckham Beauty lip liners. So good. I have, so loud. I have three favorites of the ones that I have. So I have the shade 05, 04, and then I also have the shade 02. 02 is something I grab more in summer when I have more of a tan, because it is a paler lip color for me, but it is so good. It's also more neutral. I'm obsessed with these. The wear is beautiful. I have backups, especially of the shade 04, which is like more my true lip color. It's like my Your Lips But Better shade. It is just so good. I love these. I mean, these were favorites last year too, I'm pretty sure. They're just so good. And then, I love these so much. The Jones Road Beauty lip liners. I also have backups of both of these because running out of lip liner is something that in my mind is illegal. I'm gonna put on a little bit. This is the shade Cognac. I have the shade Cognac and Rosewood, and they're just so good. You honestly can't go wrong with either of these, but if you want something a little bit more creamy, the Jones Road Beauty one is a little bit creamier, and yeah, that's it. They both don't dry out my lips. I'm happy with both, the way that both of them wear. I will say, out of the two, I would say that the Victoria Beckham Beauty one lasts a little bit longer, just a touch longer, but they are so good. I'm just obsessed. So next, we're gonna go on to like more glossy type products. So first things first. What do you think my ultimate favorite like tinted lip color product that isn't necessarily lipstick is? Leave it down below. Was it this? Was it the Rowan Beauty liquid lip balms? Because if it was, you know me so well. I am obsessed with these. I even have more than this. I have more than these, okay? My most repurchased is the shade Charlie, which is this one here. The one that has, you can tell, it's used all the time. It's so good. And I have a bunch of other shades. This one is gorgeous. They're all just so good. So hydrating. Like, I actually haven't found another lip product quite like this that smooths out my dry, dusty, cracky lips out quite like these. They're so good, so hydrating, and the pigmentation is absolutely perfect. I'm obsessed with these. So the next we're gonna go lip oil. This one, this is the Amicole lip oil. I have a bunch of shades in this, but this one, what is the shade? Bliss? Bliss. Wow, I'm so good with names. This is so good. I love the Amicole lip oils. They're hydrating, but they're also really pigmented, but they have the perfect amount of shine. And if you want something that's more like glossy style, like a true gloss, and it's like a thicker formula, but not so thick that it's like creating those like weird lines when you put your lips together, you know what I'm talking about? This doesn't do that. It's just so good. I mean, this was also a favorite last year, but this is so good. And the shade Bliss has been just so good. Every time I wear a shade like this, I actually have a gloss I'm going to mention next that's a similar shade. I get so many comments on what do I have on my lips. It's just so good. So next. Tower 28 lip glosses are just elite. They're so good. They're not too thick, and they have the thinness that sometimes you want in a gloss, but they last super long, and they're hydrating, which is nice. So this is the Tower 28 one. This is in the shade Pistachio, I think. All right. Killing it with the names today. It's so hard to remember names sometimes. Pistachio, this is so good. When every time I wear this, I get comments on what's on my lips. And these are really similar shades. You can see. Just really similar, like light pinky cute shades. But I love the Tower 28 glosses. These were also a favorite last year. Next. I love these. The Summer Fridays lip balms. Butter balms. They're so good. My favorite is the brown sugar, just because I feel like this shade is just, I'm going to put a little bit on because my lips are dry. I feel like this shade is just like the perfect shade for my lips, especially this time of year, but these are amazing. I love these. They're so good. And I also got the minis. I also like the shade Pink Sugar. I don't know. These are so good. I'm obsessed with these. And they're really, really hydrating, but they have the perfect amount of gloss to them, which I like. So it's kind of a really good dual product. I love a dual product for the lips. So the next we're going to move on to like more true lipsticky style products. So the first lipstick I want to talk about, the Merit Beauty lipsticks. I actually also have one more that I didn't grab, but I love these. They're the perfect amount of hydrating because I have dry lips, so I need everything I use needs to be somewhat hydrating. Perfect amount of hydrating, perfect amount of pigmentation where it's not so intense that you're afraid. You're like, okay, this got away from me quick. These are really good. I love these, and honestly, this formula is really just doing it for me, and I love these. And my most recent purchase is $19.90, but my most used is probably Slip because I've had it the longest. Slip, $19.90, Lavenu, and then I also have the shade Baby. Really, really good. Okay, next, we're talking about a tinted lip balm, but they give more of a pigmentation of a lipstick, so that's why they're in this section. The Jones Road Beauty tinted lip balms. I have two shades. I have the shade Cocoa Rose, which is gorgeous. It's actually really similar to this shade on my lips right now. It's so good. Oh, it's so good. I just love these. They're the perfect amount of pigmentation and hydration. I also have the shade Nude Rose. Is that Nude Rose? Yeah, Nude Rose. And it is gorgeous. And it just gives me the perfect amount of pigmentation. And then again, I put Cocoa Rose on my lips. They're so good. Okay, next. I love this. This is from Freck Beauty, and this I believe was a favorite last year. It's specifically this shade. So this is their like soft blur lipstick. Oh, and that terrifies me because that always means a little bit of mattifying. This is a little bit matte, but not in a way that dries out your lips and you're looking like butthole mouth within like 10 minutes because your lips are so dry. This is the shade Main Character. This is so good. I'm obsessed with this, and this is a great Your Lips But Better shade for me. Let me show you. It's just so good. I'm obsessed. And I really like the way this wears, and again, this doesn't dry out my lips. Okay, next we have this lipstick from Kosas, which is so dirty. Look at the top of this. A mess. But specifically this shade only, the shade Vegas. This is a beautiful formula. So the formula is incredible, but this shade specifically, Vegas, is like the perfect beigey nude. I love a brownie nude, but a beigey nude with a brownie nude lip liner is like, it's like the perfect combo. And this is just, you cannot go wrong with this. I'm always happy with my makeup when I'm wearing this lipstick shade specifically. So good. And then the newer Kosas lipsticks, which are just, they came out with this year, are so good. It's just so good. I'm obsessed. I believe this is 100 Degrees. Yeah, this is 100 Degrees. This is my most worn one. I have another shade that is something Paradise, but so good. I love how hydrating and shiny this makes my lips look, but also specifically this shade, 100 Degrees, has the perfect neutralness that sometimes I need out of a lip color, and this just serves that. So good. And then we cannot forget the best setting spray of all time, the LY's Beauty Setting Spray. I love her. I love her. She's so good. It's just so good. I have a backup of her too because we cannot, I feel like I just got a dog hair right in my eye. This is so good. Dries really quickly, which is nice. Doesn't over dampen. Doesn't get the face too damp. Just really is just so good and keeps your makeup in place all day. Truly. So good. If you want to see her side by side, other setting sprays, I did a whole video where I did swatches of like powder eyeshadow or something, sprayed it, let it dry, and showed you by touching what moves and what doesn't. This one was right up there with the Charlotte Tilbury, and then also the Urban Decay All Nighter. This is so good. I love her. These two products by far were the greatest discoveries of 2023 for me. So good. And yeah, that is it for my best makeup of 2023. I'm gonna go on and do a second video of the body and hair care and stuff, just so this video doesn't get too long. But yeah, that is it. I would love to know what were your favorites. Let me know down below. And yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.